I will be locked up from ankles, wrists, and neck. I have 2 minutes to escape before 900 pounds of sand above that crushed the cover and buried me alive.
In this video, I will reveal Demian Aditya's escape trick on America's Got Talent. Here's a quick recap of what happened. Demian begins the act by handcuffing himself and stepping inside a contraption with 900 pounds of sand suspended above him. His legs are chained to the base, while his neck brace and handcuffs appear fully secured, making it seem as though he is completely immobilized. As the timer starts, the sand begins pouring down. He manages to unlock the handcuffs but struggles with the neck brace. Moments later, the weight of the sand appears to overwhelm the structure, causing it to collapse and bury him entirely. An assistant rushes in and smashes open the base with a sledgehammer, only to discover that Demian's gone. Then comes the twist. The assistant throws the hammer aside, removes his cap, and reveals that he's Demian himself. So how did he do it? Here's the secret. The first major giveaway appears the moment Demian shows up behind the apparatus. Despite supposedly being buried under hundreds of pounds of sand, he's showing almost no sign that the sand ever touched his clothes. Since he's wearing black, the close-up shots make this even more obvious that he's completely clean. This means the multi-chamber sand apparatus was designed to completely isolate the magician from the sand altogether, so in the final moment, when it looks like he's being buried, what you're actually seeing is a false screen separating him from the sand entirely. Since the handcuffs he put on himself at the beginning were never examined by anyone, they're clearly gimmicked for easy removal, and exist purely to add an extra layer of suspense. It's exactly the same situation with the braces. They're gimmicked and magnetically attached to the base, so by simply lifting his neck upward, they detach, along with the leg braces. So how does the apparatus actually work? As shown in this animation, there are 2 acrylic panels positioned parallel to each other, and the sand's poured between them. These panels ensure that the magician is never touched by a single grain of sand, keeping him completely isolated and safe. In the final moment, when the chamber appears to collapse onto the base, you can briefly catch a flap moving in the bottom compartment that instantly conceals the magician behind it. According to the illusion's logic, the structure supposedly collapses because it can't support the weight of the sand. However, you can still see the base layer of the upper sand chamber intact, proving it never actually moved from its position. Another giveaway that the sand's confined between 2 panels is the visible thickness of the sand. You can clearly see it pressed against the inner acrylic panel, leaving a consistent gap between the 2 panels. On top of that, the flow rate of the sand isn't fast enough to realistically fill the lower chamber as quickly as the illusion suggests. The purpose of that flap is to act as a temporary cover, allowing the magician to open a hidden exit at the back of the apparatus and escape. This also gives the assistant enough time to move behind the structure and synchronize his position from the opposite side, making the switch appear seamless. That's why the assistant, who immediately ran in from the side of the stage, closely resembled the magician. Finally, when Demian breaks the outer acrylic panel, the amount of sand that pours out is far less than what you'd expect if the base had been fully filled, further confirming that the sand was isolated between 2 separate panels. Behind this mask, only the truth remains till we meet again.